Hello and welcome to a lesson on the order of operations with Mr. C. You can see that I put up at the top PEMDAS because that's probably what a lot of people think about when they think about the order of operations. The order of operations is a way for us to make sense of an expression and to all get the same answer at the very end. Let me give you an example. If I have 12 minus 5 times 2 plus 5, I'll get a specific answer if I go left to right. I'll get maybe a different answer if I go right to left. I might get a final answer if I go from the middle out, but the order of operations will tell us how. So what the PEMDAS stands for, the P number 1 stands for anything that's in parentheses or any kind of grouping symbols. It can be parentheses, it could be brackets, it could be within a function like a square root. The second thing, the second letter is E, and that represents exponents. Any exponents in the problem have to be evaluated second. Now, M and D go together on the PEMDAS. That's really step 3. We have M and D. We have multiplication and division. And if it's on a line, you're going to go left to right. Normally, we try to avoid that by writing a good expression. And lastly, AS represents addition and subtraction, also left to right. Now, you can go out of order left to right if you know how to preserve the signs and so on, but in general, that's what you do. So that's the order. So if we look at our expression to the left, we have 3 operations. We have subtraction, multiplication, and addition. So we don't have any parentheses. We don't worry about that. We don't have any exponents, but we do third multiply and divide. So we would first do line 3 on PEMDAS, the multiply and divide. We're going to do 5 times 2, and we're going to get 10. All right, and then now we just have addition and subtraction. That's my 4th feature there. So I'll just add and subtract left to right. 12 take away 10 is 2, and then 2 plus 5, final answer would be 7. Now contrast that with the same problem, but what if you had a slight different approach to it? What if you did 12 minus 5 times 2 plus 5, but you put parentheses around the first 2 and the last 2 terms? Now, you would get a different answer, and here's why. When you add parentheses in, you take care of those grouping symbols first. So here you would first take care of 12 minus 5 and get 7, and that would be that part. And you would also take care of this parentheses, 2 plus 5 is 7, and then you would still be multiplying. 7 times 7 is 49. So notice on the first answer, you get 7. On the second one, you get 49. Just when you change one slight thing like adding some parentheses, it will change the overall value. A couple other things. We have the case of what I call the case of the hidden parentheses. This comes up a lot in an algebra course. For example, if you have something like 5 plus 10 divided by 5, the hidden parentheses or invisible parentheses are that group, it basically groups the numerator and the denominator. And you can pause and write that out if you're taking notes. In other words, you want to think of this as 5 plus 10 first divided by 5. So you would first want to add the numerator, get 15, then divide by 5 and get 3. You need to be careful of that so that you don't break a rule when you're factoring and simplifying later when we get into algebraic expressions. Okay, so that's a little bit about the order of operations. I'll do one last one with an exponent just so you can get a hint for it. But what I would like to say is before I do that one is try to write your expression so that it makes sense left to right. Okay, don't purposefully try to make it confusing. Like if you have an exponent, maybe put that first. 5 cubed times 2 plus 7 is going to be way better than 7 plus 2 times 5 cubed. Because then you can just go in the PEMDAS, there's no parentheses, but there's exponents. Take care of the 5 cubed first. 5 times 5 times 5 is 125. Then you multiply that by 2 and add 7. Next, you do 125 times 2 is 250. Plus 7 would give you a final answer of 257. All right. Hopefully that gives you an idea and a reminder about the order of operations. Remember, PEMDAS is going to be your key there.